The US government just agreed to put $1,000 into your retirement account every single year, and most people under 35 have no idea this exists. But before you get excited, I need to show you exactly who it benefits and who it doesn't, and the hidden cost that no one is talking about, because there is a catch and it's a big one. Here's what's wild. There are 56 million Americans right now that cannot access a 401k plan. Not because they don't want to, not because they're irresponsible, but because jobs simply don't offer one. Uber drivers, freelancers, part-time workers, small business employees, gig economy workers, 56 million people locked out of the single most powerful wealth-building tool in America. President Trump just signed an executive order to fix all of that. It's called the Trump IRA, and it launches in 2027. Now, I'm going to break down exactly how it works and who qualifies, and the fee math that could mean the difference between you retiring with $540,000 or $660,000. Same contributions, same market, completely different outcome. But I also need to show you the difference that most finance channels won't touch, because this free money from the government, someone's definitely paying for it, and I'm going to show you exactly who. My name is Azaz Mahmood. I'm a professional portfolio manager and wealth advisor to the 1%. Stick with me because by the end of the video, you're going to understand better than 95% of Americans, including those who already have a 401k plan. So, why are 56 million people locked out? Let's start with the 401k because you need to understand what's broken before you can appreciate what's new. A 401k is simple in theory. You earn money, you put it into a tax-advantaged investment account, it grows over 30 years, and you retire. Beautiful. But here's where it all breaks down. And it breaks down in three very specific ways. Problem 1, access. You only have a 401k if your employer offers one. That's it. No employer offering, no 401k, no tax advantages, no employer match, nothing. And we already know 56 million Americans fall into that exact gap. Problem 2 is fees. And this one makes me generally angry on behalf of my audience and my clients. According to Kiplinger's, the average fee for a 401k in the United States right now is about 1.26%. That may sound small, but it is absolutely not. Let me show you how the math works because it should be illegal to hide this from people. If you have $500 a month for 30 years invested at an 8% return, which is the historical average for the market, you'd expect to retire with about $679,000. Decent, not nearly enough for most people, but decent. Now, let's subtract that 1.26% fee. You're not retiring with $679,000 anymore. You're retiring with $540,000. That's $139,000 gone, quietly handed to fund managers on Wall Street while you're busy living your life and trusting the system. $139,000 in fees, and you never even saw it leave your account. That's not a rounding error. That's a car, a down payment for a home, or, really importantly, money that you're going to need for medical expenses as you retire. I want you to pause right now and think about that number. Drop it in the comments. What would you be able to do with that extra $139,000? Problem 3, 401ks are really sticky, and in a bad way. Is there a good way to be sticky? If you leave your job voluntarily or not, transferring your 401k to a new employer is a bureaucratic nightmare. Paperwork, rollover rules, timing windows. Most people just leave the money behind, and I see it all the time in my practice. The 401k was designed in an era when people worked at the same company for 40 years. That is not the reality of 2026. This is where the Trump IRA comes in, and I want to be very clear about what it is and what it isn't, because there's a lot of noise online. The Trump IRA is a government-backed retirement account, designed to solve all three of these problems that I've mentioned. Let me go through them one by one. Fix 1 is universal access. You don't need an employer to be offered a Trump IRA. If you work in the United States, you qualify. Full stop. Freelancer, covered. Gig workers, covered. Part-time barista with a suspicious side hustle, definitely covered. This is the first time in American history that a retirement account with government contribution has been made available to all workers regardless of their employer. Fix number 2 is the fee cap, and this one gets me genuinely excited. The Trump IRA caps fees at 0.15%, not 1.26%. Let's go back to the math we did earlier. $500 a month, 30-year contributions, 8% return. At 0.15% in fees, you retire with $660,000 instead of $540,000. Same contributions, same market performance. That's $120,000 more for jean shorts, Corvettes, and boats. You know who you are. It's not a small difference, and the difference between retiring comfortably and retiring anxiously is huge. Fix number 3 is portability. The Trump IRA is tied to you, not your employer. It goes where you go. New job, new city, new career pivot, your account stays intact. No rollover, no paperwork nightmares, no leaving money behind. Now, let's talk about that $1,000 government match because it sounds too good to be true, and it kind of is. The government will contribute up to $1,000 a year directly into your Trump IRA. Real money, free money, but there are some conditions. To get the full $1,000, you need to meet two specific requirements. The first is that you have to have an income of under $20,500 as a single person, or $41,000 as a married couple filing jointly. The second is that you have to contribute $2,000 of your own money every year because the government matches 50 cents on the dollar up to $1,000. If you earn more than that, those thresholds and those benefits will start to phase out. But think about it. You're getting a 50% return before ever risking your money in the market. That's huge. But here's the thing I said I'd come back to. The most expensive kind of money is free money, and let me explain to you what I mean. The hidden costs that no one's talking about. To understand the catch, you need to understand how the government pays for things. And bear with me for 90 seconds, because this is the part that's going to change how you think about money forever. The US government only has a single source of income, your taxes, our taxes. In 2026, the government can collect roughly $5 trillion in taxes, but it's going to spend roughly $7 trillion. That's a $2 trillion gap every single year. The government covers that gap through debt, basically by borrowing money to pay for bills. So, the Trump administration just cut taxes through the One Big Beautiful Bill, so tax revenue isn't going to go up. That means that to fund these Trump IRA contributions for these 56 million Americans that are now entering the market, the government's going to need to borrow even more money. Where does borrowed money come from? Three places. Individual investors like you and me, governments like China and Japan that buy treasury bonds, and the Federal Reserve. Here's where it gets wild. The Federal Reserve, despite the name, is not federal and not a reserve. It's not even a traditional bank. They literally say on their website they don't hold cash. What they have is the ability to print money. So the mechanism is government needs money, Federal Reserve prints it, government spends it. But the more dollars that enter the circulation of the economy, the less the value of each individual dollar becomes. That is inflation. That's loss of purchasing power. And yes, these Trump IRA accounts funded by printing dollars is going to add to inflationary pressure. Now, here's a little investor insight from someone on the other side of the table who's in the industry. Inflation hurts people who hold cash and earn salaries. It helps people who own assets, stocks, real estate, businesses. When the government prints money and pumps it into the stock market, which is literally what happens here, 32 to 68 billion of new dollars is estimated to enter the market when this launches in 2027, it's going to drive asset prices up. Investors get richer, cash savers get poorer. That's not a conspiracy, that's just how inflation works, unfortunately. Remember, there are potentially 56 million new investors who will be entering the market once these Trump IRA accounts go live. And that means even more dollars are chasing the same fewer assets. So the question isn't, is the Trump IRA good or bad? The question is, are you positioned on the right side of this equation? So how do you win here? Two moves from my perspective. Move one, if you qualify for the Trump IRA, especially if the government match is applicable to you, use it. The $1,000 contribution is compounded over, let's say, 20 or 30 years. It can be quite meaningful. Even at conservative returns, it's a real retirement money. According to Forbes, a 20-year-old who's investing $165 per month in the Trump IRA could save over $750,000 by age 65 with that $1,000 match compounded annually at 7% per year. Move 2. Understand that more money entering the stock market means owning a piece of the market becomes more valuable over time. Volatility is going to increase, bigger swings, bigger crashes, more opportunity. Two simple ways to get broad market exposure is ticker symbol VTI, the total stock market index, and ticker symbol SPY, the S&P 500, or the 500 largest US companies. I'm not telling you what to buy, and this is not financial advice. I'm showing you how to think. The pattern is clear. 401ks inject more money into the market, IRAs inject even more. Robinhood and free brokerages injected even more. The Trump IRA is just the newest wave. Each wave creates more buyers, more volatility, more opportunity for people to understand the game. The question is, are you playing the game or are you being played by it? I want to hear from all of you. 3 questions, answer whichever one comes closest to home. 1. Do you currently have a 401k or an IRA? 2. Do you qualify for the Trump IRA income threshold? 3. Did the fee math surprise you? The $139,000 number. Drop your answer in the comments. I read all my comments and I'll reply to as many as I can this week. Hey, thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. If you found value in this, please consider liking and commenting. If there's any finance topics you'd like me to cover for my next video, please comment them down below and I'll be sure to check it out and get back to you guys. This is my job, so I am a wealth advisor and portfolio manager. I want to give you the most latest up-to-date financial topics and best practices from my desk to yours. And yeah, if you found value in this, or if you know someone in your life that you think would find value in this, consider sharing it with them. This is me signing off. Take it easy and stay safe out there.